now, Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm your host, Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing agents who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And good morning to all our South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I'm joined live and in studio by Tracy Grady.
Good morning, South Shore.
And via her boat, we have Sharon McNamara.
Good morning.
Good.
Can you hear me?
A little bit. I'm going to have to give Tracy a minute to reintroduce ourselves so I can go up to the board and make your levels a little bit higher. Yep. All right. So, Tracy, why don't you reintroduce yourself to all of our listeners in case they haven't caught one of your shows, and also your phone is recording.
My phone is recording everything that we're saying. I totally love when I do that. Thank God I never hit send. Well, that's a lie because I have. Good morning, everybody. It's Tracy Grady here with Melissa and Sharon. I have been working here at Boston Connect Real Estate for about 10 years now, which always shocks me when I say that. I am partnered with my husband, Jim. We have been lucky enough to have had some great sales over the past years, and we love working here at Boston Connect Real Estate. Yes. Yeah. We're all trying to adjust ourselves here. In my phone.
Can you hear me at all, Tracy?
I can hear you, but it's like you're in the distance a little bit. We're trying technology here this morning. We're working on technology here this morning, and it always is challenging.
You know, the gremlins come in and everything. So, but yeah, today we are talking all things new construction. We're sort of calling it a few different things. So, building your dream home, the pros and cons, and what buyers need to know when it comes to new construction.
And Boston Connect does a full hand of new construction on every single level that you can think of. Condos, new homes, remodels.
I feel like once you got into real estate, you sort of were like thrown into new construction. So like when we do a new construction show, of course, we think Sharon.
Yep.
And we thank Tracy. Yep. And now there's been quite a few of our agents here at Boston Connect Real Estate who have been at least buyer's agent in new construction. So we'd love that perspective. You've been on both sides, and both Sharon and you have been on both sides of the aisle there. Yep. Buyer's agent and
buyers, sellers, buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people will wander into a new construction project and be unrepresented. So kind of it sometimes falls into your lap.
It does.
That you end up doing both sides of the coin, which is always some.
Yeah.
But with new construction, I feel like it's so much easier to do that, though, because it's all new. And it's usually based on the buyer anyway, because whatever the buyer wants. And the seller, in most cases, is a builder.
Not emotional.
No.
We say that.
That's
Sharon,
a really good way.
Sharon always says it's not emotional. It's business.
It's business because the builder wants to build and wants to sell, and the buyer wants to buy. So usually it is I will say the builder that we work with Bob Gosselin quite a bit, K&G Development. And we say it at the closing table, it's like a kumbaya moment after it's done because Bob works directly with the buyer. Jim and I facilitate the beginning and the end of the deal, but through the middle, they all come together, they talk to each other, they pick things out. And so by the time they get to the table, they have met each other numerous times, and they have wonderful relationship. With, usually with gifts being given back and forth at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's usually a very, very good experience.
I know. Sharon, do you want to talk a second? See if your levels are a little bit higher?
Sure. Can you hear me at all now?
A little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better. I'm gonna bring you up a little bit more. But yeah, so new construction, and I mean, like I said, when we think about new construction, I think about you guys, and you guys are just sort of like the new construction. I almost called you wizards.
New construction wizards. I kind of like that.
Tracy, do you hear me the same as before?
Yeah, about maybe a little bit better. I mean, I can hear you. Talk a little bit more. Talk a little louder.
Okay, I don't know what else. Yeah.
Talk a little louder.
I'm going to try listening in this way.
Go ahead,
without
yeah.
my headphones. Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you better that way. Keep turning that up. Yeah.
Well, it's just.
Oh,
you know
that's
what?
good.
Why don't you guys just continue on with the show, and I will log off.
You can.
Okay, we'll try it again another time.
We will try technology.
We'll try technology another time.
Another day.
Okay, so I know that Sharon had a special announcement, so we'll talk about that. Maybe she can even call in at some point on her phone and talk about a new construction little. I almost said musical. I'm off. She's doing a musical, everybody.
We're wizards.
Yeah, we're wizards,
and
we're doing a
we're going to choreograph a new musical on
a
real
workshop. She's doing a workshop. She's going to talk about that. So, but yeah, so like I said, new construction, I always think of you. Obviously, I think of Sharon. And, I want to start off with why do buyers love new construction?
I think, it's going to be the house has never been lived in before, so you can't, that's got to be the number one reason people want to build their own house from the ground up. Nobody's been in there but them. It's their dream house. They probably have an idea in their brain of what they think their dream house is going to be. So I think they love picking out their own, picking out your cabinets, picking out your countertops, picking out your paint, designing. Some people even get into the whole, no, I know exactly what I want design-wise even. If you really know you want a primary bedroom on the first floor, it's pretty tough to get in a colonial these days. So if you want something like that, you kind of have to start from the ground up unless you want to buy something that's already existing. So I think buyers just like to be able to have a say in how their house is going to come out.
Yeah. Plus, everything is new.
It's new.
And I also want to go back a little bit to the beginning of the show of when you first started in real estate, you really jumped into new construction. And now you have a listing that was one of your new construction listing. Yeah.
First new construction project, which was so funny when I went out there the other day. So we had done a condo complex here in Pembroke, right next to Dairy Twist, via 590.
Yeah.
Was our first construction project in 2016. So we were working with a builder at the time, Don McGill, and I met him through the town. And Jim and I proposed. It was our first proposal we ever did, new construction, and we got 9 condos. So the other day, one of our customers that I know from the restaurant comes into the restaurant all the time. We did not represent them when they bought the condo, but we've become friends along the way, and now we're representing them on the sale of their condo. And I pulled back into the parking lot, which I very rarely ever do, pulled back into the parking lot and was like, wow. This seems so much smaller. It seems so much bigger when I was new, when it was being built and it was so new to us and there were 9 units, it seemed like. And Jim and I spent probably well over a year, probably like a year and a half, every Saturday, every Sunday from noon to 3, every single weekend until every single condo was sold. And we spent time moving furniture from one unit to another unit across the parking lot.
That's what you do.
We had our kids okay, this isn't the model unit anymore. We're going to make the model unit's going to be now unit 5. So we'd go across the parking lot with couches and chairs and pillows. And it was hilarious to watch, but it seemed so much bigger than when I was there the other day. So it was nice.
It's funny because Sharon does have clients who are looking for very similar style homes. So she was able to show that to them. And I actually saw them last night and they just said It was an absolute beautiful unit.
Yep. Yep.
They decided to pass, but I said my response was, "Oh, it's gonna go."
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, and I haven't even been in there. I've just seen the pictures. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I know that you're doing open houses all weekend.
We are. We're doing open houses there today from 11 to 1, and tomorrow from 11 to 1 in Unit 7 at 590 Washington Street. And it is such a flashback. When I walked in, I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot how much I loved these units."
Yeah.
And then I realized, I'm like, I picked out the backsplash. I picked out all the colors in here. I'm like, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you did a great job
I did a
because
great
everyone's
job.
loving it.
And this unit's super nice because they did hardwood floors throughout.
Yeah.
Instead of wall to wall, they did hardwood floors on the second floor, first floor.
Yeah.
And she has impeccable taste. So it just shows lovely. Like I wanted to do the pictures. I'm like, I have no notes.
Yeah, I have no notes. You have to do nothing.
I have no notes. There's nothing that you have
Don't
to do.
you love that?
Yeah, there was one. I think we took a Kleenex box off of the counter and put it underneath
thank
and then put
goodness.
it back. And that was about
Yeah.
the only thing Emily and I had to do when we did the photographs.
Well, speaking of, okay, they have, hardwood floors throughout and everything. I think that also has to do with the type of home that they're purchasing. So are they purchasing a spec home? Are they purchasing semi-custom, fully custom, a model home? Let's talk about the difference between some of those, because it's not just, oh, you're going to come in and buy what we offer.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is.
So we work with both.
Yeah, I know.
We're like the perfect one because we have two completely different builders. We have one builder who will not put a shovel in the ground until he has
Yeah.
a client in place that knows what they want to build.
Yeah.
And then I have another who also does beautiful new construction, but he will not put it on the market until the last nail has been hit and everything is clean and done. So that's the difference between custom and spec. It's
Yeah.
like you're taking a chance. Like, I'm going to build this colonial, which is beautiful. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. We have some high-end shiplap. We have, the drop zone on your way in from the garage.
I love that you call it the drop zone. We talked about that last week.
So, yes. So and equally you get as many buyers in line. I mean, sometimes it's easier to sell a spec house because some people don't have the vision.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a visionary person that can kind of see the final product in your head, then sometimes you need a spec house to say, this is exactly what I want. But then there are other people that just know what they want. But it is two completely different buyers that are going to do a spec house or are going to buy a custom house. Yeah.
I think that I would be a terrible candidate for purchasing new construction because I feel like I do have the vision, but I second guess myself. So I would be like, I need everybody's opinion. Does this look right? And, once you get 5 people's opinions, forget it.
So
how do you move forward?
You're a shopper.
Yeah.
You're not a buyer.
I'm a shopper.
I
do.
buyer.
I have
walk
plenty
in,
of.
I'm like, that's what I want.
I have
And
plenty
never
of
think about
tabs open on my phone with shopping carts full of things that I just don't purchase. I like the idea of having new things. Sharon's like giving me the thumbs up. I like the idea. Yeah, it's in my cart. I have it.
I have it if I want it.
quotation.
I have it. I'm good. I don't have to find it again.
Yeah.
I know where it is. It's in my cart.
And then I get upset when it goes out of stock and it just doesn't come back. I'm like, why? Oh, I should have bought it. So I do. I have.
My sister and I are complete opposites. She is a shopper. Like she could go into CVS and spend 2.5 hours going through the makeup aisles and the face creams and everything else, and walk out of there with absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we here? Like, why are we not buying? Yeah. I go in and I'm like, I want that. I'll try that and that. I'm at the register. I'm out of there in 5 minutes. She's there for 2.5 hours and buys nothing. I'm like, you are a shopper. You are not a buyer. I am a buyer.
Yeah.
Done.
I do the same thing. And then I'm like, I just wasted my whole time. I just wasted so much time. So I would be a terrible candidate. I would be your builder who, I would like to go with your builder who just does it. If you like it, great.
Yeah,
buy it.
if you buy it. Yeah.
That would be me. I
do love our spec builder because he does add some beautiful things. Coffered ceilings in the dining room, shiplap on the wall. I mean, he does put those extra things that as a buyer, you might not have thought to do that, and you look at it and you're like, oh my God, I love that. Yeah. Great. Thank you for doing that, because I would not have come up with that.
Yeah.
So I think it works both ways.
That's great.
Yep.
Custom homes. So a lot of the times it's purchasing the land also. So and building from the ground up, working directly with architects and builders. You have complete control over design and finishes. This is a fully custom home. But it also comes with longer timelines. Because there's more decision making.
Yep.
And Sharon's still on, so if she agrees with anything, just give us a yes. I agree with that.
She's like, yeah, I'm good.
I agree with that. Semi-custom homes, builder provides floor plans, buyers customize finishes, selections, structural options, or some of them at least.
Our sit downs with Bob are usually, he has so many plans because he's probably built like 400 houses across over the years. So it would be hard to say that he doesn't have somewhat of a plan to at least get the ball rolling and then go from there and have them add on to what they want to be. And then usually he'll provide them a final plan after we sit. We try to find that base plan that's going to work for the basic layout and then tweak it to whatever that client wants to be. And then usually right about the time you sign purchase and sale agreement, he will give you a full set of plans so you know exactly what you're getting. And then you can look at your plans. There's always a set of plans on site. He's also very good about allowing the client in during the building process. Like, he doesn't want you in there, obviously, if the plumbers are working.
And that's not everybody.
No, but if the weekends and there's nobody there, you can go in and, I think we say this all the time. You want your buyers to be showing up and be, you don't want them to be disinterested. You want them to be fully engaged in the process, because buyers that are not fully engaged can sometimes drop off. And it's like, if you're not seeing them on a regular basis, you're like, what's going on behind the scenes here? Something's going on.
I also think it's important when it is a development. So it's also creating that sense of home where it's all new. So when the buyer is engaged during the process and is coming around and is seeing sort of the development grow as a whole, I think that's really important because it also creates a sense of community.
Oh, yeah.
So you're, bumping into other buyers or people who are already purchased in there and things like that. So I think it definitely makes the transition more smooth.
Yule Street, perfect example in Carver, that 10-lot subdivision that we did. We were literally one day, two clients waiting to see. One client got there first, the other client was second. The second client is waiting to see if this client is going to take lot 2, because if they didn't take lot 2, they were going to take lot 2, and if they took lot 2, they were taking lot 3. So it was the craziest time. But that whole community, young kids, young families, they all still get together. They have it. It was really exactly what you said. We were creating a community as the houses were being built, because people were showing up with their kids and watching when the construction was getting done, and other people were there, and they would meet and talk on the street and get to know each other before they even moved in, which was great.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And we had all ages. We had people that had moved, that had downsized into a condo, who decided that condo living wasn't for them, and they bought and custom built their own house on the older side. Their kids were already grown, and then we had young families going in. So we had all different age groups in there, which was really nice, and they all got along really well. So nice.
You know what? I love when, and you said downsize, but we call it right sizing. I love when people are right sizing, because I feel like at that age, in that age group, you've worked your whole life. You are, you've had a beautiful life. Why not build a beautiful home for the rest of your life?
Exactly.
So I love that sort of demographic that is like, okay, this is what I worked towards.
That's what we have over, and even still in Carver, we have Ohana Way, and we have the 2 lots. Both of those are not young.
Are
families.
like, you know what? I'm gonna
I've worked my entire life. I want to build the house I want to live in.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful.
I tried condo living. I don't like it. And it's too small. It's not what I want. And I want to build my dream house. Yeah. And it's never too late to build your dream house. I guess that's the best thing to say. It's like, there's no time on that. You don't have to be a young family with 3 kids to build your dream house. Like Jim and I, we're going to go down to Nashville, and we're probably going to remodel a house, but make it what we want. But I could certainly see us building what we want down in Nashville.
Yeah.
Would be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you've worked your whole life.
Our whole life.
Hard.
Yep.
And now you get to enjoy.
Yep. Granted, I'm not going to build a 4-bedroom colonial. With,
No.
No, it's going to be a ranch. One level ranch, couple of bedrooms, nothing major.
Listen, they are a hot commodity out there. Everyone wants a ranch right now.
Everybody wants a ranch, and nobody wants to build.
And nobody wants to sell them either. Come on. The other type of new construction is a model home. So if you're indecisive like me, maybe a model home might be great for you. So a model home pretty much, I feel like, showcases what the builder can do.
Yes.
So, they tend to, the price point tends to include a lot of the upgrades that they have. And I'm giving quote unquote upgrades, whether it is the, hardwood, up the stairs or in the bedrooms and things like that.
Tiled shower.
Soaking tubs, things, sort of like that, more storage whatever. They might be included in the pricing of a model home because they've already done the work. They've already sort of picked everything. And so if you are, indecisive like I am, perhaps a model home would be able to satisfy you.
I remember going through the condos over in Hanover when they were just being built, and we went through the model unit, right? And I was like, oh, this is lovely. Like, wow, this is, that's an upgrade. Oh, that's an upgrade. That's an upgrade. And that's an upgrade. And that's an upgrade. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What does the base product actually look like if everything in this house is an upgrade?
Well, I love that you said that because I really think that it is important that, if you are a buyer out there and you are touring new construction developments and maybe it's just one new construction home, but for the most part, they're developments that are doing open houses pretty much every single weekend. Like you said, you were there every single weekend. It is important to, when you're weighing your options of do we put in an offer on this model home or do we build from the ground up? What is included in that build from the ground up? So if you are going to these open houses and if you are working with the buyer's agent, make sure these are some of the, questions and conversations that you're having with that representative.
Usually there's a set of specs that the builder is going to give you allotments that go towards, X amount of dollars are going to go towards appliances, X amount of dollars are going to go towards upgrades. We're going to include this, but if you want this, then it's going to be, there'll be changes and upgrades that go along the line. And, you can finance them in. And
also, I will say that when it comes to, the model home, there aren't many customizations you can do after the fact.
Correct.
So if you don't like certain things, it's not going to... like, oh, I don't like the island there. I want to move it. Well, no.
Yeah, no, that's staying.
Then you build from the ground up.
Yeah, exactly. Then you build from the ground up.
A lot of times it's like, oh, I don't like the sink in the island. I'd prefer the sink, on the counters. Well, no, it's already built in there. So maybe building from the ground up might be for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much... Yeah, that's correct. That's pretty much correct. But we did have somebody... and again, your allotment for your kitchen appliances is going to be X amount of dollars. We had this one customer in Pembroke over on Lisa Lane, and their stove, it was like a $15,000 stove.
Oh, my gosh.
So, like, their entire allotment didn't even cover, like, one oven on that stove. Yeah. But they were able to go in and pick out the appliances that they wanted, and they just kind of put it into the budget. So, some people can work fine off of a $10,000 budget for appliances in the kitchen. And then other people are like, yeah, no, that's not going to cut it. But they know that going in, that they're going to spend extra money to have their chef's kitchen. Yeah. Like, I want my kitchen to be a chef's kitchen. I want everything top notch. I want, a Wolf stove. I want a Wolf everything. And
so maybe they scale back on other things that they might be able to do in the future. But if they're like me, they probably won't. Oh yeah, we'll
get there.
We'll put the hardwood in the bedroom instead of the carpet. Yeah, and then 10 years later, you're like, we're still
never
carpet.
got to that. Yeah,
never got to that.
We pretty much said the same thing too. Like, well, maybe someday we'll do hardwood floors in the bedrooms upstairs.
Oh, you have carpet upstairs?
We have carpet upstairs. Yeah. Yep. We replaced most of it. I think all of it's been replaced at least once.
Yeah,
at least once. But Yeah, still carpet upstairs, but hardwood in the hallways.
Yeah. Oh, well, there
hardwood
you
in the
go.
hallway, and that's
That's
and at
what
this
matters.
point, I'm not replacing any carpets with anything because I feel as if when the house goes on the market, somebody's gonna. Again, carpets, people never believe they're brand new anyway. Even when you put brand new carpet in,
I
so
know.
just steam clean it, make it look pretty, and go on from there.
Let people do whatever they want
Exactly.
to do
Let
afterwards.
them decide what they would like to do.
Getting back to the model home, I think that it is, most likely when you're going through an open house for new construction, you're going through that model home. Another great question to ask is if the model home is for sale, because sometimes it's not, because, that's how they can showcase, especially if they only have one.
It's your base. It becomes your base.
Yeah.
Of where you're going to, it's going to rain outside. You need a place to go.
Yeah.
So the model unit is usually the one that, it has all of the, I would say, over in West Bridgewater, Cochise Estates.
Yeah.
That model house has everything in it. It has the cabinets, it has the tile, it has the doors, the floors, it has, it is basically a showcase for what you can have, and to try to, convert that quickly. And no, that's probably going to stay the model home until the very end.
Yeah.
And be converted over.
Yeah, I know that, when I was helping Sharon and Mary over at Copperwood Circle years ago, again, still with Stonebridge Homes, here in Pembroke, we had multiple model homes at the same time. So it was okay to sell one of the model homes. Each model home was a different style, which was great because at least over there, a lot of the lots could hold a few different style homes. So if you did like a lot, if you fell in love with a lot, then you could put in a reservation for that lot and then choose which style home. So maybe it was one lot you could choose between 4 out of the 10 different style homes. So that was
properly
always
on that lot.
Yeah. So that was always sort of exciting to see what everybody, and then there was like 10 in a row where they all chose like the same style. So I think at some point we were like, all right, should we even offer this anymore? Because it's just going to be one after the other after the other.
We're making this way too complicated when we could probably simplify it with just that one.
Yeah.
See, and that's a unique situation where we're the condo units that we've done here in Pembroke, we basically, with whatever one we were in, we had bought all the furniture and everything, and we staged it.
Yeah.
And that was our base unit, but I wouldn't consider it to be a model unit. We just decorated it, and that's where we had our open houses. And then, we were able to sell those.
Was it for sale the whole time?
Yeah, it was for sale the whole time. So if somebody wanted to buy it, we would have moved out and moved into another unit that was available at the time.
In that development, so there's the difference. So at Copperwood and a few other developments that Sharon and Mary have done, and I'm sure you have done as well, is you could choose the style home. But then there's also developments that are like, this is the style that we're building.
Pre-done.
You can customize the inside, but this is how it's going to look on the outside.
Yeah, because the layout was going to be like over here on Center Street when we did the one down here on Center. There were standalone, and then there were a couple of duplexes. So it was either you're going to buy a standalone or you're going to get a duplex.
Yeah.
But that was already predetermined. Like there was no choosing. Like you could choose to have a single.
Did the standalones go first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the standalones did go first, and then we had one last standalone that was bigger than the rest, and then that one finally went as well. But yeah, so it depending on what you wanted. Again, we staged one unit. We staged one unit at the duplex, and we staged one unit as a standalone, so you could kind of get a feel for it. And then again, that goes back to visionary. Like you have to picture your stuff, what it's going to look like. Do I want to be in a duplex? Do I want to be in a standalone?
Yeah.
But yeah, the standalones tend to go much quicker.
Yeah. Before I move on to the next segment, I just again want to highlight the understanding of what is being built. We have been saying a lot lately that, communication is so important in this industry, in this business, with us as agents, with our clients. Communicating exactly what you're going to get. I feel like over communicating in new construction is so important because you don't ever want that buyer to walk through the house and say, I didn't choose this. This isn't what I thought was going to happen, because what are you supposed to do? Rip it all out?
Yeah. And we had that happen once on with one of our new construction condos. We walked in with the buyer, and he's like, fireplace is supposed to be on left wall, not the right wall. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure we were all there when we said it right wall. And he's like, no, left wall. And I'm like, oh, okay. He was adamant about it.
Yeah.
We moved it.
You did?
Yeah, Jim and I paid for it. We moved it. But
was it a mistake?
There were 4 of us in the room. 3 of us heard right. The one person heard left, and
it is what it is.
It is what it is, and buyer's always right. Buyer's always
now
right.
You have to get it in writing.
You got to get 100%. Yep. But we were all there, and we all just remembered something different. And you know what? It could have been right, and could have been, but it does happen. So that's why and again, it's why it's important to have an engaged buyer going back, because it wasn't that big of a deal to move it at that point.
Yeah.
But had we gone another 2 weeks,
then
it would have been
a structural issue at that point.
Yes. So we were lucky enough that
much like everything else in life, sometimes people just hear what they want to hear, and whether you're any person in a transaction or really anything in life, sometimes you just hear what you want to hear. So perhaps it was on the right, perhaps it was on the left, but at the end of the day, you satisfied that buyer. Unfortunately, it came out of your pocket.
It did, but it was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do.
I was trying to keep everybody happy. That's kind of like a real estate. That's kind of you're that person that's trying to keep your buyer happy, you're keeping your seller happy, and you got to play that little game.
Sometimes you have to wear a firefighter hat, and you got to put out the fire.
Exactly, and that's what it was going to take to put out the fire, because both sides were not moving on that one. And I was like, you know what? Just move it, and we'll deal with it at the time. So, and it worked out fine. They were happy. Everybody was happy. Nobody was. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
And now everything is in writing. Everybody initials everything.
Everything's in writing. Everything is in writing. Let's just put everything
just want to
down
confirm.
Paper. Yep.
Just want to confirm.
Yes. So it's very important. Again, buyer needs to be engaged in the process. It can't be, that's the difference between building custom and spec. Spec, the house is done. There's, minor changes that you can make. Maybe, you're not going to be changing countertops. You can't move things around. Things are already structurally there. You don't like the color paint? Fine. I'm sure that can be adjusted.
Yeah.
But, when you have custom build being done and your buyer's not engaged, I don't want them walking in 2 months later being like, that's not what I said. That's not what I ordered. That's not, no. So that's why... And again, with Bob and the way he does it, basically Jim and I bring the buyer to the table, and then he engages with the client.
Yeah.
So there is no middleman. There's no me getting in there saying, they wanted Revere Pewter when they really wanted Pale Oak. So, that takes that out of the middle of it. Mm-hmm. It's going from the person who wants to the person who's supplying. And that's probably the best way to do it, as long as your builder is willing to do that. Not every builder is willing to do that.
Yeah.
So, you have your real estate agent, and they're your middle person, and they're going to keep track of everything. And they want to make sure. So...
I can see Sharon. I can't hear her, so I don't know if she's trying to talk to us or somebody else. But
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you, yeah.
Ooh.
Is Tim McKinney the best person ever? He is the best producer over at WATD. He figured it out. You'll never even I don't even know how he figured it out, but I'm going through Facebook to go through StreamYard to go back to you, and here I am on the boat. So sorry to interrupt.
I can hear you. No, I can hear you.
Nice. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I can, right? I've been loving this conversation, and you can hear probably. I have people texting me saying, "We can hear you fine on YouTube. We can hear you there." And Sharon, you're not talking about, you're still on camera. So, my good friend Jen, who is out in Texas, thank you for keeping me in the loop there. But good conversation. I don't want to stop you where you're going, but I love this conversation, as you know.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if it's on our agenda, either one of them really, but I do want to ask you guys a question of, when you have these new construction developments, what do you think is better, getting in the beginning of a new construction development or towards the end when it's almost complete? What are the benefits?
I did a blog.
Both.
Yeah, I did a blog on this. Yeah, I actually did. I personally, it matters, and sorry to jump right in there, Tracy, but I think that it matters what you want, right? So I think if you're looking for the best benefit when it comes to long-term equity, getting in the beginning of a subdivision is much better than being there at the end. And one example I have of this is in Pembroke on Crescent Hill Farms, the one that there was a development I did there with Jim Whaler and Joe Stack was my foreman. He was my work husband at the time. And he's now yours.
Now he's yours.
Now he's my work husband. Thank you very much. Thanks for divorcing him and giving him to me.
Tag, you're it. But, in that situation, I'll never forget. It actually came up the other day when I was talking to Mary is, somebody came in early in the development. He liked one unit. One lot. And we went through the whole process with them. Nope. He wanted, and he also thought, hey, I'm in a good position where I can negotiate hard. Yeah, you get a lot of benefits when you go into a development at the beginning, new construction incentives, right? Like new development incentives, right? So you can get some of those, but don't push the builder because the builder also knows historically they're all going to sell eventually, right?
Yep.
So in as much as I love the fact, and Mel, you hit upon this earlier, I love the fact that there's no emotions involved when it comes to new construction. It's all about the numbers. It is what it is. Yeah. But this one guy in particular, he kept on coming back. And then he was finally, the subdivision was basically done at that point, and he wanted to buy the last lot. And he was so irritated that it was so much more money. It was probably about $100,000 difference at that time because it took a couple of years to do it or a few years to do it. So when you get in early, you get that benefit of new construction incentives, picking your lot,
which I think is super important because in a subdivision, you're going to have your premier lots and some that are not so premier when it gets down to the end. And if you're picky and you want to, you pick your lot, I think it's important to get in early where you want to be. I remember doing over here at 220 Center Street, we had a sawhorse. Not a shovel in the ground. Nothing had happened yet. A sawhorse in the middle of the parking lot, Dust Bowl at the time, opened up the plans. We had 4 buyers at the same time. I want this one. I want that one. I want this one. I want that one. Not a shovel in the ground. And they were all ready with their checkbooks. Like, we're ready to go. I want to pick my lot right now. We laughed so hard about that. I'm like, we just sold like 4 lots on a sawhorse in the middle of a Dust Bowl parking lot to people who are like, no, I know exactly where I want to be.
Yeah, that's
and all those people are still there today. They are, nobody has really turned over there, but it was so funny at the time. But that's the point of getting in early. You picked what you wanted, and you got the lot and the style you wanted.
And there are a lot of frustrations that go along with that too, right, Tracy? So, you're dealing with, the construction of it, right? You're dealing with the trucks going back and forth. You're dealing with, the final pavement on the street isn't completed yet. The noise of the trucks and things like that. As much as they don't generally work a lot on weekends, they respect that. But what
you're in a
the
construction
benefit is.
Site. You're living in a construction site while it's going on, and you kind of have to know that up front that, okay, it might be uncomfortable for the next 6 months, but you're going to get past it. This is not forever. It's just a means to an end.
And the equity, right? You get the equity in it. So I know the one that we just finished, actually, it hasn't sold yet. We have one lot that's going to be closing next week or the week after. It's been a little bit of a holdup, but even in that subdivision, I talked to the first person who was in, and it's like she has over $80,000 worth of equity in her house because she was the first one in. It's probably even more than that at this point. But, and the other nice benefit of being one of the first ones in is you're the one that sort of, you're meeting all the neighbors. You're like,
mayor.
you know what I mean?
You're the mayor.
Yeah.
You're the mayor of the development.
Yeah.
Whether you like that or not. So
exactly.
Yeah. So I think there are benefits.
Kind of like Yule Street. Yeah. They all met each other at the same, they were all meeting each other while everything was going on.
I think it's also, we should also say that prices go up, they don't go down. So as the development carries on, not just the base prices will go up as the development develops, but so does the cost of building the house. So it's the lumber, it's everything, siding, windows, it's everything goes up. Nothing comes down. So
nothing comes down.
Getting in early, you are going to be able to see that equity just sort of kind of flowing in as the development progresses on.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, that was my question.
And the negative part of it is, getting in early is that you have to deal with some of those things. But I think that, the pros outweigh the cons, in my opinion.
you just have to have a little bit of a tough skin. And again, like I said, it's a means to an end. You have to put up with what's gonna, the trucks coming through, landscaping going on, grading going on. Actually, our new construction project over in Hanson, we were supposed to do photographs yesterday. I met Rich out there, and he's like, what am I supposed to do about these guys that are like running around the yard doing the grading and everything else? And I'm like, well, I just thought we'd do the inside because it's 100% done, and the landscaping outside is like 93% done. He's like 93%. I'm like, all right, maybe 93.8%. he's like, I think I'm just going to come back over the weekend. It'll be easier. He's like, because these guys are going to be in my pictures. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking interior is 100% done. Yeah. It's clean as a whistle. I'm like, why can't we just go in and do the interior, and then we'll do the exterior. To swing back and do the exterior. He's like, Tracy, the guys are going to be in the pictures. I'm like, well, I didn't know there was going to be like 10 of them running around in the
Ask
backyard
them when
today.
their lunch break is.
Exactly. So when you guys going to take
Doesn't he have Photoshop? Doesn't he have Photoshop?
Well, that was kind of going to be my question. Was like,
for them to buy pizza.
If you can't, if we can't do the outside, can just have you Photoshop the outside into the picture? He has Photoshopped grass in for me before. He does a really nice job with the grass.
Yeah,
like he can make it look from like grade to like. This is what it would look like with a.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you put a pool in? He's like, you're being ridiculous. He's like, you're being ridiculous right now.
As long as you have the disclosure.
He thinks I'm ridiculous anyway. I texted him yesterday. I'm like, is it all right if I wear my bathing suit to the photo shoot? And he's like, why wouldn't you? He's like, why are you even coming? He's like, it's an empty house. It's all by himself. I'm like, I need to talk to you about the landscaping a little bit. And he was like, yeah, we can't do this today.
Oh my God.
He's a riot.
Then
he's great.
Flip-flopped away.
I did flip-flopped away back to my pool.
Go back to your pool.
And I always felt bad. I'm like, he's like, Trick, you just gave me 2 extra hours. He's like, I'm all happy. Don't even worry about it. He's like, I'll get here over the weekend. So that's this afternoon. We're doing photographs and
new construction. Speaking of photographs, and I know that Sharon does this, throughout her developments, is getting that professional photography done as the development develops and progresses, because you want to showcase all the different finishes that you can do, the different designs that are possible in that development. And it's great to have a portfolio of all the photos. Yep. All those photos. So I know, at least with Cushing Trails and Cochise Estates, it's been like, okay, now this style home, let's get Brian over there and take some pictures and things like that. So, really important.
And it's nice to have that portfolio too. I mean, Tracy's developers and builders actually do things a little bit different than the ones that I'm working for right now. I personally prefer the way that Jay Kennedy does it. Let me just finish it, and someone, build it, and they will come.
Yep.
Yeah, and somebody will, there are a lot of people, and like you said, Melissa, like that in, being indecisive sometimes, like I'm very indecisive. To me, I think, if we're doing any type of renovation or anything, Mark will just come back with 3, here are 3 things to pick from, but it's nice to have the photos, because when you're with my developments, the one I have in West Bridgewater, we sit with them, and it's semi-custom, which is different than fully custom, but it's semi-custom. We sit with them and we go over, and then people are like, well, what does it look like in the house? You know what I mean? I'm not a designer. I never even claim to be one. And I never want to be responsible for like a variant in a tile not looking the way they want it. So having those photos is really, really important for us to have a little portfolio, so we can say, this is what this looks like in this model.
Yeah. I think that's really important, again, because, knowing me, I'm a visual person. I would definitely need to see, okay, does this really look, nice together? Yeah. Do I really like this? So having those photos to look back on, it would be really important.
One thing, can I pop in onto something that Tracy was talking about earlier? And I agree too, like when we have our model units, and it's like, all right, what's included? Oh, well, that isn't included. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade. I try to explain to people at my subdivisions that the reason why you walk through a model and you see everything that's an upgrade is because, just like what we're saying right now, is if you tell me that a tiled wall, tiled floor is going to be an upgrade versus the one-piece fiberglass, I'm not buying it unless I see it. I'm sorry. I'm not spending $6,000 to do an upgrade on something I can't visualize or see. So that's why we put all those upgrades in there, so you can sort of see what you would want if you bought it. Now, if you decide that you don't want the upgrade, the fiberglass one piece is fine. And in fact, I had somebody who ripped it was what is that, like the pre stuff? What am I saying? Whatever. It wasn't finalized anyways, but it was pre-done. Like the construction part of it was to do tile walls.
Oh, okay.
And tile and a fiberglass floor. And she's like, I want a one-piece fiberglass shower. I never want to deal with grout so long as I live. So it really matters where you are.
Yep, that really, it does. Grout is its own complex.
Yeah.
We have tile in both of our bathrooms. One holds up great. The other one is just brutal to clean. It's a white tile with like a dark grout.
Yeah.
Of course it's a dark grout. It's my house. It's black, you know.
To go with the black toilet.
It's a black bathroom.
Oh my gosh. We have less than 10 minutes left, but I want to talk about some of the pros of new construction. So I don't know who wants to start. I have a whole list in front of me of some sort of discussion points of the pros of new construction. So, newer systems, warranties, things like that.
Usually there's a 1-year warranty. Are you sharing 1-year warranties? That's usually what we have on our new construction projects. Yeah.
We have a 1 year. So my in Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater, we have a 1 year warranty with an extended 10-year warranty on like structure and things like that.
Oh, that's nice. That's
an extended warranty.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, but it is, it's new. Everything is new. So new
energy efficient.
Yep, energy efficient. Windows. Well, God, yeah. We are. Yeah. These houses are tight as a drum. With the new stretch energy codes, they are tight.
Sorry. Yeah, and the one thing too to bring up about like those warranties, it's really important when you are buying new construction that you do all the warranties that come along with it. That's something that we do in our final walkthrough checklist, is that, make sure that you're sending in all those warranties for the dishwasher, the stove, the microwave, the heating systems, all of those things. Everything. You want to make sure that you're doing that. I always tell people, I was like, as much as it doesn't sound like fun, like your first weekend in the house, have a glass of wine, sit down in front of your fireplace and fill out all those and just get it behind you, because it will become one of those things. I'll do it later, and you never will.
I wished I had done that. Yeah, and now my dishwasher's not working, and it's not going to be serviced. Yeah, exactly. Send in your warranties. That's what That's why you do new construction. Everything is new. So.
I thought you said nude construction for a second. I was like,
that's a whole different
show.
That's a horse of a different color.
If you look back at the video, I was like, nude. Oh my!
Well, maybe 25 years ago. Maybe 25 years ago that would have worked for me.
Sure.
But
nope.
I assure you that if anyone walked into my open house and I was a nudie, they would walk away for sure.
Just laying across the couch, just randomly, like Titanic style. Titanic style, like somebody
draw me like one of your French girls.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
Yeah.
Or we could hire people that are like super, super hot. And we could just have bikinis and high heels. Like, if that's going to sell a house, whatever.
And cocktails. You're going to have bikinis, high heels, and cocktails.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have the Hooters girls come to my next open house. That's what I'm going to do.
Don't knock Hooters. I like their wings.
They do have good wings. They have great wings.
Yeah. Okay, so again,
I'm hoping that's a blooper, by the way, for us. That's going to end up being one of our reels. I'm telling you right now.
That's going to go on a reel. Yeah.
New construction, again, going back to the pros before we talk about our open houses this weekend and final thoughts.
What are other pros?
Yeah. Ability to personalize finishes. I think that is a pro. You can either customize, semi-customize, fully customize, not customize at all.
Yeah, decide not
the
to
options are endless based on how you are.
I mean, that's the whole thing about building your dream home, is to participate. Again, if you want to build a custom home, is to participate from beginning to end. Like, you feel like you put your stamp on it. as opposed to, you know, partial, which is you pick out your colors, you pick out your tile, you pick out your appliances and things. But when you're there from like the first shovel in the ground and you want your primary suite to be on the first floor with a beautiful bathroom, or you're going to add an in-law or something, you know, for a family member, you are participating in building your custom dream home. So, I mean, the pro is that you're involved and you have nobody to blame on the other side other than yourself.
I do want to point this out before, and I don't know if it's a final thought or what, but I did have a segment on my agenda of how to find new construction opportunities, and we talk about this so much, is having a buyer's agent, working with a buyer's agent. And I just want to say that if you are going to these new construction developments over and over and over again without an agent, and you're asking the questions and you're following up directly with the agent who is representing that development, be cautious, because if you all of a sudden you get into, you know, a contract or anything, and then all of a sudden you have an agent, it might get a little dicey. So
because that agent is truly representing the seller. I mean, that's where they're when I say
fiduciary responsibility.
Fiduciary.
You know what I was going to say, but I can't get
fiduciary
it out of my mouth.
Responsibility is to that builder, to that, you know, so you're not represented. If you do want representation.
In fact, you would be called an unrepresented buyer. Like, we represent the seller. And, you know, yes, you can certainly come to us. We can certainly do it. We can put in the reservation. We can do all that. But I'll let you know, buyer's agents are going to fight a little bit harder for you, or they're going to ask questions that maybe you're not going to think of like, are there any incentives? Are there, you know, hey, would they be willing to do this if I do that? Like, buyer's agents definitely, especially you want a buyer's agent that knows new construction really well too. Like,
and you want a buyer's agent that knows you really well. Like, your buyer's agent that works with you learns what you want and what you don't want, what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. So your buyer's agent is representing you personally, and the more you work with somebody, the more you get to know them. And I feel like that's the relationship you can't get.
And they should be with you every step of the way. They should be with you at every single meeting.
Yep.
They should be. They have
because
to be.
Sometimes they don't.
They have to be. No, they have to be. And like, hey, listen, if they're going to be getting a compensation at the end of this, then they certainly should be there. And one of the things, Tracy, I'm not sure how yours works when you're like building and they're picking, you know, their selections and everything. But one of the things I make very clear to buyers as I'm sitting with them doing the design aspect of everything is, just so you know, I'm going to tell you what an upgrade is. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to try to sway you in one direction or another. I'll tell you things I think you should do right now versus try to do later, like hardwood stairs. It's not included in our package. But if you want them, you should certainly do it now. Don't think that you're going to save money and do that later. Hey, backsplash. Hey, if you don't want to spend the money now, you can always do that later.
That's something you can do later. Yes.
Right? And that's really important part of the process.
Later. Yeah, some things are easier to do later, whereas other things are going to become structural issues.
Exactly.
Or cost you twice the amount of money. You can't move a fireplace from one wall to another.
It's harder to do some of those things when you're already living in the home.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, try to get your hardwood floors done. Try to get your hardwood floors done.
When you have furniture all over
them. When you have furniture and rugs all over them, like that's where we're at. So we have to actually hire movers to take our stuff out.
And for us, about a minute left.
We don't get compensated on any of those upgrades. So I always sit with people and I say, I'm not trying to upsell you. Like, this has nothing to do. This is about you building your dream home. We get compensated on a base. But one thing I know we have to get going, because
I don't know if you can hear the music. Can you hear? Yeah, the music's playing already. I want to give Tracy.
I'm having a new construction seminar Wednesday, June 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Cochise Estates. So we'll give you more information. You can sign up for that. Tracy, if you want to join us, you can sign up at events@bostonconnect.com. And I also do a website. It's going to call newconstructionblueprint.com. So you'll be able to go there and get some more information on it. We'll talk about it again next week.
Tracy, your contact information for everybody?
Tracy Grady, 617-620-8484, or Tracy, Tracy, at bostonconnect.com.
Okay, you can go to bostonconnect.com to find all of our contact information. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next Saturday.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
We might as well say